this morning. Let's do that a little bit softer. Get away from this mic a little bit. All right, let's do it again. It's gonna come together in a second. Just give me a second. It's a little different, something other decided to do this morning. Human acoustic, if you will. Let you hear it in just a second. Hold, hang tight. I'm having fun. All right, hang tight. All right. Unfortunately, I can't turn the speakers up. Let's see. Let's do another one. One more good, nice and thick, juicy clap take. All right, let's add some human shakers in there. How y'all feeling this morning? Where you watching from? Let's see here. I can do that. Let's see some human shakers. All right, it's gonna make sense in just a second. Hold on. All right, I think that's all I'll do vocally. Cool. Yeah, turn this mic off so we don't get a whole bunch of crazy feedback. Let's see here. Here we go. Here we go. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. All right. How's everybody feeling? Hopefully everybody is well. I'm standing here and it's by the grace. Let me EQ my vocal bass a little bit, pull it out. Add a little bit more oomph to it. Oh, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I need a little bit more on those my thick claps there. Let's see here. Add something to those. Going somewhere, I decided to do something a little different today. Different from the usual. A little different from the usual. Hopefully y'all dig it. Let's see here. Alright, let's go claps. Decided to take a melody from an old song, just like a segment of it, and flip it and do something different with it. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. So I'm playing around with this song. I hardly ever produce anything vocals first. And I've decided to just kind of play around. I hardly ever do anything with vocals anyway, unless I'm actually doing a song that requires vocals. So just starting opposite of how I would normally start is kind of what I'm doing this morning. If anybody is wondering, I'm like, what this dude doing? Singing and clapping and carrying on. So yeah, I decided to start opposite of what I would normally do. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace. So Floppy, I don't really have any major plans for the new year, so to speak. Make sure this is in tune. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't have any major plans for the new year other than staying productive. That's like my let me pull some of this light back. I look like I'm glowing, like I got the Holy Spirit shining on me this morning. Pull some of this light back, see if that helped a little bit. There we go. Yeah, so like my plans just stay as productive as possible. Put out as much as I can put out in the coming year, like really dig in harder than I did in 2020. I think my year kind of got off to somewhat of a rough start. Personally, I can say that honestly, my year got off to a rough start. Well, I'm not gonna say it got off to a rough start. It kind of topped midway around the time everything started kind of kicking off into February, March. It got weird. March, April. March, April, May, it was a little weird for me. And I think I picked back up the pace really hard in latter months. But yeah, there was a little section in the year. So my goal going into the new year is to go all the way through the year, if God allows, with the same energy or more than just kind of, I know the latter part of the year for me has been very, very productive, but keeping that same energy all the way throughout the year is kind of where I'm at for the most part. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it for me. Not a lot. Well, I can't say not a lot. That's y'all know that's not true. There's a lot planned, but there's not a lot that comes to mind right now other than trying to be as productive and moving forward, that kind of thing. But yeah, happy New Year to everybody in advance. If you're watching this video in the replay and that kind of thing while I'm waiting on some people. Yeah, man, 6 string is we'll keep that quiet. But I love playing a 6 string, so yeah. There's some things, and I will tell you this much, there's some things in the works for 2021 as it relates to a 6 string bass. And if you like 6 string, I think you're definitely really gonna like what's in the works that's coming down the pipe. So yeah, definitely, if that's what you're asking, yeah, definitely another 6 string coming. I know y'all been seeing me playing this exclusively for a while now, and it's cool. I enjoy it because I know even from a teaching standpoint, this is a little more simpler, if I can say that, more simple to understand, and even the 4 string for most people can be even more simple I won't try to teach from the 6th string, but I am definitely grabbing another one. I will say that much. I won't. You won't go into more detail than that. Abner, good morning to you. So yeah, so I was playing around with this track this morning as we're. Let me save it because last week my power went out and I hadn't saved yet. So let me go ahead and save this. All right, let's save it. And this probably won't be one of the backing tracks. I can already tell you that now. This probably won't be one of the backing tracks that I will put up on YouTube. Vocal. All right, so we got that. So yeah, Christmas was cool, man. It was weird. My Christmas, if you follow my family channel, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you have no idea and you're not following my family channel, the Morgans vlog, man, our Christmas was a little interesting. Our power went out Christmas Eve and on Christmas Day. It was very, very weird. And yeah, to say the least, our power definitely went out for those days. It was out like Christmas Eve. It went out around like 5 p.m. Good morning. Hopefully you're well, Tanya. I guess you are. You're here. I know y'all guys over in Nashville had that crazy stuff happening over there. But yeah, our power went out. What was it? Christmas Eve was what, Thursday? Yeah, so our power was out for like almost 4 hours. I was without power. I literally had one of my lessons shut down in the middle of a lesson. And then Christmas Day, our power went out for like 2 to 3 hours again. So it was an interesting, nonetheless, it was still good. I'm grateful my parents came down, so it was fun. We still enjoyed it, none the least. But yeah. All right, Warriors, a stunning bass, sounds awesome. Thank you, man. I appreciate that, Floppy. So Ethiopia is in the house. All right, good to see you. So then here's again the loop. All of this is vocal. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I am standing here and it's by. And how I did this, I didn't want to bore y'all with the details of creating this unless you jumped on 10 minutes ago and you saw like the ending stages of me creating this. How I did this, because I don't have perfect pitch, I gave myself a reference pitch just with a keyboard, just something simple. Literally, all I did was gave myself a reference pitch, and then I sung the melody first with this right here. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. And I just started building parts. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. Just added parts. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. Then we added more. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I am standing. Little doo-wops, if you will. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. And my kick drum is literally me beating on my desk, recording that, and that's what my kick drum is. Other stuff is the snaps that's happening. I am standing here. Oh yeah, and the little extra percussion stuff that's happening is me beating on my chest. Don't ask why. Why not? So this is what this is. Creating some human percussion stuff happening this morning. All right, so then I added a little vocal bass to it, to everything. Don't laugh, it's early in the morning. So, all right, so yeah, we just added some claps and that kind of thing. And I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. All right, so let's go back. Tanya said, yes, God is good. Service just restored yesterday. Wow, that's crazy. So a lot of you guys were like seriously affected by it. I forgot what area you say you're in, Tanya. Love the harmonies. Appreciate that, Floppy. Dustin said, good morning from Macon, Georgia. Man, that crazy Christmas you guys had. Sound like fun. Yeah, it was fun, all right. So, production 101, love it. Appreciate that, Tiffany. Good morning to you. Greetings, Marcus, to you. I'm good, man. So just again, wanted to do something a little different. We're finishing the year out. Just a quick idea I had. I'll be honest. I got inspiration last night. I watched this little video by Jacob Collier. He was talking about creativity. Worth you taking a look. I don't know where the video initially was done, but it was. I seen that somebody posted it on Facebook, and it was very, very inspiring to me. And and so from that video, I was like, you know what? That's a really good idea. Essentially, without talking about the entire video, what he was talking about was doing the opposite. I'm trying to just summarize this up in like 2 minutes, what he said in 18 minutes. But doing the opposite creatively of what you would normally do. And like kind of going against to create something really, really great. So I'm not that's kind of the process behind, all right, so what would I not do for Tuesday morning? Well, you definitely wouldn't sing, that's for sure. So, all right, let's go ahead and sing something. Let's come up with something and sing something. So instead of building a track with all of these electronic instruments, using samples and all that kind of stuff, let me just use what I naturally have available to me, and that's my voice. That's the stuff around me, like beating on a desk instead of just getting a nice kick sample there. No, I'll just do it on the desk. Now, I will say, in my production, there's stuff I do a lot. I do like a lot of live claps. I do a lot of using natural sounds. I've been doing that for a minute. Some of you guys may have saw the video that I done early part. I think it was this year. So much stuff happened this year where I redid one of my songs, Original Slate, and I was literally stomping on the lawnmower and beating on a tree and some other stuff that I was doing, just like using elements from nature. And I literally went outside and sampled me slapping the tree, me stomping my foot on a lawnmower. So the sounds you heard were real sounds of me sampling. Oh yeah, the other thing, I was beating like on the side of my lawnmower, like the I guess it's like the fuel tank part. I was slapping the side of it, getting like a percussion sound. So just using like really, really natural elements around me to create something different, and it just forces you to think differently when it comes to music production, when it comes to being creative musically. And so yeah, that's kind of what's happening here this morning. Trying something a little different. Now that all of that stuff all is there and it's organic, now I can go back and add some other stuff. Like I'm hearing like guitar with this particular thing that I'm doing now, like some really, really soulful guitar I'm hearing. So I'll go and I'll add that and see what kind of feel I can get from adding some soulful guitar. I already know what I'm hearing in my head, but just making sure that I'm matching up with the vibe and everything that's going here. So in essence, you get something that's way more interesting, way more exciting, just by starting a different way or doing something, not necessarily starting a different way, but doing something that's completely out of the norm of how you would approach this stuff normally. Let's see. Let me tune this guitar up quick. Yeah, let's tune it up. I know this building has been affected by this good, nice cold weather we got going on. Let's see here. think I chose the right input. Think I did. There we go. Make sure I'm not missing any more comments. Steven, good morning, man. Good to see you. Well, I'm not seeing you, but good to hear from you. Mario, Salt Lake City in the house. Thank you guys for tuning in. I know it's super early there, man. I appreciate y'all for getting up out of the bed. Some of y'all gotta be up, some of y'all don't. It's vacation for a lot of y'all. All right, so here we go. We're getting some guitar going. Oh, got a little latency happening. That's not good. We'll make it work. Why the latency? I have no idea. I'll try to make some adjustments and see if that changes anything. But yeah, that's the thing. Like when it comes to production and really staying creative and making sure that you don't get lost in doing the same thing all the time. Sometimes take a completely different approach. I'm often asked when it comes to music production, like where do you start writing? Where do you start creating from? As seen from here, like, it can start from anywhere. It's not always a drum beat for me. It's not always bass line. It's not always a keyboard line. It's just wherever the idea starts from. Sometimes I can have something that is like off. I hear the whole song pretty much from start to finish. And when I hear a song like that, I'm like, I know it's gonna be good. There's a song that's coming up on my Dreams Work Reality Part 2, and it's like 4 years ago, 4 years ago when I heard the song, but I heard it finished. I heard the song finished, it was big, I was like, wow, this is crazy. And I started recording it on my phone, like in the voice record, and just imagining all the other parts, beating on my chest and singing. I forgot what the melody of the song is, but yeah, sometimes they come like that, sometimes they don't. I'm standing here. All right, here we go. So we got some guitar we're gonna throw in here. Let me add this really quick. Hopefully y'all are enjoying this. I'm not boring y'all with all of this stuff. Hopefully not. Surely I'm not. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. Alright, let me pull everything down a bit. It's a little bit too hot, so I'm having to overcompensate with this guitar volume. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Oh, I guess I would arm the track. That would help a lot, right? Let's try that. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. All right, let's try that. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Remember the right chord. That always helps. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. that little slight latency that's happening there. I didn't mean for it to happen, but I kind of like it. All right, let's try it again. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. All right. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. All right, let's get a completely different tone with guitar happening here. Let's try this one more time. That's cool for a nice little, really gritty tone. I want something a little different though, a little more clean. Let's see if we can get something going. Everybody good? T, good morning to you, man. Visions, Mike, good morning. Stario, enjoying the process, bro. No boredom at all. Thank you. I really appreciate that, man. That 7/8 feel is dope, though, bro. That drag feel is always a dope move. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right, so yeah, this is actually straight though. The groove is actually straight. 4 on the floor. 4 on the floor. I don't know why I'm putting the strap on like I'm about to really, because I'm not. So let's see. Let's get another track going. Something a little bit more clean. This really neo kind of feel. I think will feel good over this. We're just putting some ideas down right now. All right. So let's see here. Take this off. All right. Good. Let's see. Always helps when you plug in. All right. See what feels good. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I don't know if that'll work. I'll try it though. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I don't like that. Let's do it again. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. Alright, let's see. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. Got a nice little hump on it, I'm feeling it. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace. Y'all feeling that? I am. I think it's all right. All right, so let's see. All right, one more time. I'm standing here Mute my vocal bass to see if I'm not clapping. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here. Let's start with that so it'll loop well. Standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. All right, there we go. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. As you can hear, there's so many different places that you can go with that. Let's see here. Let me go back. Charles, good morning to you. He said, good morning, bro. Hope all is well with you and yours. The track has a lot of soul in the feeling, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. Andre, good morning, bro. How was your Christmas? It was cool, man. I told everybody earlier, it was interesting. The power went out a couple of times, but nonetheless, we made it through. The kids enjoyed it. And my 3-year-old has a new bike. That's a quick rundown. Awesome sound. I like the uniqueness of the various sounds on each track, how they all blend together. Very well done. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I guess it's cool for being still in the 7 a.m.-ish time in the morning when I was working on it. Tyrone, good morning to you. So yeah, we're just playing around, having a lot of fun with it. Like you said, I like just the rawness of everything when I drop all the stuff out and just leave the vocals. That's always a really, really good feel. And playing around that vocal, you know. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. All right, so enough of that, I guess. Do you sing? Do you use your voice? So what's your thing that you're doing to create something different? Putting that thought on your mind today for the ones who are watching and listening to me bark on this track this morning. What's your thing that you do that's unique to you? It might not be singing. Can you hold a tune in a bucket? What is your thing that you do that you could really start to kind of rethink some of the ways that you're approaching your creativity? Some of you guys, music might not be the full extent of your creativity. It might be like art. It might be something else. But I feel like all of us, to some degree, have some type of creative something other that we do. It could be cooking. It could be, whatever it is. It could be, how to work on cars. You know how to paint cars or something that's dope. But the idea is thinking outside of how you normally approach that thing to see what else you can come up with to really enjoy it, so you don't get old, you don't get dated with what it is that you're doing. So That's one of the ideas. So the thought for today is we made it. I think that's the topic. I always forget the topics that I start my that I start my lesson with. Uh, what is it? Yeah. We made it this far. Yeah, we made it this far. I know we have maybe like what 1, 2 more days left in no 1 day, 1 more day left in this year. So this is the last time I'm posting for 2020. And man, what a year this has been. I know for a lot of people, and myself included. And we've talked about a lot of that stuff down through the year and trying to be as productive as possible. But going into this new year, first off, being thankful, man, being grateful. The whole thought of this idea vocally saying, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. I can honestly say, man, I wouldn't have made it this far had it not been for God's grace carrying me, because it wasn't because of something that I did. I was so smart to make the right decisions. Nah, it's simply been by the grace of God that everything I had going on didn't fall to pieces. It's like, kind of his order, so to speak, that you would still be good. You would still be in good health. You would still be moving forward in spite of everything that's going on around you. Because one of the things I often tell my wife when we are facing different things on a personal level, it could be worse. I hate to have to always look at a worse situation or, look at something like that to say, man, it could be worse. But that's the reality. Things could always be worse. And where you are, it's always a plan for it. There's always a plan. There's always a purpose for the things that you're going through. Most of the time, they don't make sense. They don't really make sense when you look at the current condition of where you are, what you've been through. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm sorry, Andre, I didn't see your comment, man. He said this would be a great bass track today. I don't know if y'all can get this one. Good morning. Andrew said, good morning, Jermaine. Hope you're well. Happy to join this morning. I'm glad to have you, man. Thank you for being here. Floppy said he feels the same way. I was telling my kids last night, I was talking their head off till they got sleepy, so they go straight to bed last night. So while we were sitting at the dinner table, I was talking to them and I was kind of reading through. I mentioned to you guys, I have a dream reality checklist, so to speak, in my phone. A lot of people write it out. Some people have it, written out in journals, that kind of thing. But I have it written out in my phone. And so I'm reading this journal. I got basically in this journal, I have like some things that I want to see for the future, some ideas that I believe that's going to happen, some things that I'm believing God for, so to speak, as well as some things I want to do on a personal level in terms of personal development. So I read this often. We read it often as a family. I read it myself, but I let my family and my kids hear what these things are that I'm believing and I'm dreaming, because I'm trying to get it in their minds to do the same as they grow in that. My kids are super young, as I've said before, but I'm trying to start to instill that in their minds now as they grow, as they go through life, to have a list, have a goal, have some goals written down, some things that you're trying to attain. But one of the things I was telling them, oftentimes God's plan or his will doesn't look like what we thought it should look like. There was his will for Joseph in the Bible, and I'm not preaching before y'all say, hey, go ahead and preach. No, I'm not preaching, but there's a principle that I'm talking about here. There was a reason and there was a will for him, for Joseph in the Bible back in the Old Testament, who basically became like a prince of Egypt. There was a purpose for him when he was younger, and his father was grooming him for that purpose, and so much so he gave him a coat of many colors, and his brothers became jealous of him and threw him in a pit and basically almost left him for dead. And so you would think, given Joseph's, if you're familiar with that story at all, given Joseph's story, you would think that there wasn't a plan for him. Joseph just kind of went through a whole bunch of calamity for no reason, but all of those events that he went through that was traumatic. Just imagine Joseph being in 2020 now. All of these things that have happened through 2020, losing loved ones, maybe the loss of a job, maybe the loss of a broken marriage or something like that. All of these things falling apart, looking like they weren't, meant to be. And not knowing that somewhere down the line, all of these things were working together for a greater purpose that was down the road for him, like serving that when he was accused of messing with Potiphar, the guy who basically owned all of this stuff. He was over all of this stuff and was in charge of everything but the man's wife. And of course, his wife, because of all of his power and his influence that he had, and the fact that Joseph was so good at what he did, she wanted a piece of it. And he was like, nah. And she was embarrassed. And so she lied on him and told her husband that Joseph tried to attack her or whatever. So this dude was thrown in prison. So you would think, like, man, this good dude is being accused of something that he did not do, all because he's trying to walk in integrity. But that was all part of the plan, because had he not been placed in the prison, he would have not been in a place to meet the person that he needed to meet to introduce him to Pharaoh, who would later make him basically like a prince over the entire city or whatever of Egypt, and ultimately end up saving Egypt and Israel. So it's like a lot to the story. I'm giving you a very, very watered down version of the story. But my point in saying that is, I'm pretty sure those years of his life didn't look like, nah, this ain't what I saw in my dream. Because Joseph had a dream. He was known, if you read, Old Testament or whatever, Joseph was known as a dreamer. They referred to him as the dreamer. A lot like many of us creatives are. He was a dreamer. He saw things that other people didn't see. Obviously, that's what got him in trouble, telling people his dream, telling people, what it is he saw. And I hear people say a lot of times, don't share your dream with everybody. And to some degree, that's true. But you need to tell somebody about your dream. You need to make it known what you see in your mind so you can hear yourself say it all the time. Not only just sharing it with yourself, but sharing it with some people that you can trust. And also, the other part of being able to share your dream and share your vision, you never know who might be that person in your corner who is ready to help you to attain that dream. You never know who these people are that surround you. My brother has a saying, you're always one person away from the person that you need to know. You're always one person away from that person you need to know. And who's to say you're not already connected to that person and they're just waiting for you to get in place and get your ideas together and get your stuff situated so that they can get behind you and back you on whatever that dream is. So sometimes the people who are trying to do you harm might ultimately be pushing you into purpose. Joseph's brothers meant to do him harm. But what they did by putting him in the pit was they pushed him into purpose. And sometimes those uncomfortable situations like 2020 produce, and I can't say this for everybody, but I know I can say this for me because everybody might not agree. And it's okay. You don't have to agree with everything I say, but at least think about it. At least consider what I'm saying and look it up. Read it and research it for yourself and see if it's any truth to what I'm talking about. Don't take everything I'm saying like, I don't make myself out to be a know-it-all, but do look into it and see if it's any truth to what I'm talking about. Now, 2020 for me pushed me into very, very uncomfortable situations, many of which in the early parts of the year had me questioning, did I make a lot of the right decisions? Did I do this right? I knew the intentions of my heart when I did these things were to do good and not evil. The intentions of my heart was to move myself forward, to move my family forward, to be in a position to help move other people forward. But what I was getting in return wasn't that at all. So it had me kind of questioning. I was like, wait a minute, like, hold on now. I know I didn't sign up for none of this. So what is this? Where is this coming from? Where is this stuff coming from? And it was all part of the purpose, because a lot of the things that were birthed out of me this year would not have happened had I not been under the pressure that I was under. And me making up in my mind, you know what, I'm going to push through this pressure, because almost everything, and you can just go through anything I've done this year, almost everything from a productive standpoint that I've done, it seemed like it wasn't the right time to do it. It's not the right time. Now is not the time. So I had a conversation with somebody early part of this week, or last week I was having a conversation with somebody, and I said, what I've learned to do, when God gives me ideas now, I've learned not to waste those ideas, meaning I don't waste time on them. Of course, I try to plan it to the best of my ability, but sometimes you don't got time to plan. Sometimes you just got to go with it. You got to go with it. You have to be in the moment. Stop trying to figure it out. One of the things I'm teaching my 9-year-old daughter, when I'm reading a lot of the things on the list, she's a thinker. All my kids are very, very smart, so they're thinkers. So while I'm reading the list, or sometimes while we're reading the list, they're sitting trying to figure it out. Like, wait, well, if this happens, I said, Yana, don't do that. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to rationalize this with your human thinking. And your human thinking will never be able to rationalize something that's supernatural because it cannot understand it. You are thinking with your natural mind. You have to, by faith, say and speak and believe the things that you want. And don't try to worry yourself with how it's going to happen. That's none of your business. How it's going to happen is not your concern. Your concern is to believe that it's possible and do everything necessary to put yourself in the position for that thing to happen. Take the necessary steps, make some plans, but don't concern yourself with how it's going to happen. I know that's almost like an oxymoron for me to say it because some people are probably listening to that and saying like, well, you said make plans, so how would you make plans if you don't know how? Well, there are some things you can't plan for. You can't plan to be in the room with somebody of influence or something like that randomly, just walking through Home Depot or somewhere and you just happen to be, I'm just giving a random scenario. You just happen to be walking through Home Depot and you're looking for something to work on a room or a studio building or something like that. And you strike up a conversation with somebody and somebody in Home Depot overhears you. This is a scenario. Somebody overhears what you're talking about and they're interested and they want to know more about what you're talking about. And all of a sudden, you share this vision with this person and this person is ready to invest in your vision right there on the spot. You didn't have time to plan for that. But being ready to share what that vision was with somebody got the attention of somebody who was there to help you make that vision happen. So just sometimes being in the moment and being ready to go and not being like so standoffish that you don't want to share or you don't want to open up and let anybody know about the things that it is you're trying to do. Sometimes just being open and being honest allows people the opportunity to come in and help, because you can't do everything by yourself. I'm learning that you cannot do, and I gotta be honest. At times I'm a loner. I think the struggle that comes with being multi-talented, I'm not gonna call it a curse because it's not a curse, but sometimes the problem that comes with that is the fact that you get into this mindset or this mentality, I'll do it myself. Especially if you're like me and you're a person that likes to get stuff done quickly, or I'm very, very goal oriented. So I like to get stuff done. And if people are dragging their feet around me, I'll do it. I'll take up the slack and I'll just get it done because I like to finish things that I start. That's just the way I am. That's the way I'm wired. So I get out here, or if it's making music or something like that, I'll get it done. If I can't get a drummer or something to come in, all right, cool, I'll knock it out. If I can't get somebody to play keys on it in a timely manner or something like that, all right, I got it. Don't worry about it. So it's like you get in this mindset of I'll get it done myself. And oftentimes, if you're not careful, that attitude can put you in a position to where you don't invite help. So, you know what I'm saying? You have to be careful that you don't push away your help by being impatient or by being too self-sufficient, too dependent on yourself. Like, you want to make sure that you don't ward off your help. So sometimes opening up and letting people in your world, letting people share the opportunity. It's some of you guys that you do some things really, really well, but there are some other people who could benefit from the wisdom that you have. Simply by letting those people come around, it might slow you down a little bit, but the wisdom that you give out, the return is going to be greater than what you lose by slowing down and letting somebody else in on what it is you're good at. The return. And again, I'm not telling y'all anything that I'm not having to practice myself, because again, I have my own way, my own system. I think we all do, of the way I like to do things and the way I like to get things done. So oftentimes it's easy for me to get annoyed when somebody is slowing my process down. But if you want somebody to come up to the level that you're on and be able to have somebody to go with you on this success journey, sometimes you got to slow down and give the people the opportunity to gain these nuggets, to gain this wisdom that you've gained. So that kind of idea. All right, let me read a few of these comments before I get too far into this. Hopefully this is helping somebody. If I am, give me a thumbs up to let me know that this is helpful to you. All right. Let me go back here. Andrew asked earlier, I'm curious, can you, let's see here. Yeah, he says, can you, a passive, I guess you meant, can you play a passive bass, plug into a Boss GB7, achieve a similar advantage as an active bass with a built-in preamp? I think you can. Because you got to think when you're plugging into these pedals and that kind of thing, most of the time, a lot of these pedals are going to have a built-in EQ. They're going to have a built-in boost to them. Most of them will have some type of built-in boost where you can kind of boost your volume a little bit, and you'll have that headroom because the bass is not active. Surely it won't clip because you'll have that extra headroom to allow you to boost your signal. So you got your EQ and you got your boost, and most of the time these pedals have a built-in. I'm not sure completely about the one that you're talking about, but most of these pedals, like the Boss GTB or whatever it's called now, most of these pedals have a built-in EQ. They have a built-in compression and all that kind of stuff. So that's just you said I asked for the persons without a passive bass. Got you. I don't have a, yes, I do have a passive bass in here. I got a couple passive basses in here. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, you can achieve a very, very similar thing as you would with the active bass, because you're literally just boosting the signal, and that's what an active bass does. It boosts what's already there. It helps to boost it and bring more clarity and all that kind of stuff. So to answer your question, in my opinion, yes. All right. So let's go back. All right. So Ainsley says, that's an excellent point, mate. Love from the UK. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Hey, guys. I'm Vince, all the way from Africa. Good morning, Vince. How do I maintain the groove when playing? I'll try to come back to that. Let's see here. Some great words, Jermaine, once again. Come from the grooves and leave inspired for life, man. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Terrence, good morning to you. Great message. Thank you. Tyrone, I appreciate that. And everybody's giving the thumbs up that this is helpful. I used to be like that. I had to learn to step back. Yeah, Andre, I got what you're saying, man. So, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to get to that point, where you're just completely taking over everything or not allowing people in your space, so to speak. I asked, let's see, I read that already. December made 1 year since last saw my family and friends. This show is part of the positive inspirational routine. Completed 2 full-time semesters on the Dean's List with a, wow, 4.0 for dual degrees. Well, congratulations. That's great. That's awesome. You obviously been working hard to do that, and hopefully you get to see your family soon. So what I was saying in terms of, let me go back and answer this question because I'll get too far in here and I won't be able to come back to it. So how do I maintain my groove when playing? The groove should always be there. The groove should always be there. The groove is kind of like the foundation. It's like the rhythm. It's like to me, it's like the second hand on the clock. You have that minute hand that's, moving. If we were to think about a clock that's sped up, that groove is like that second hand that always keeps going no matter what. So it's always kind of like subdividing that rhythm. It's the thing that, to me, outside of the melody that carries the song from different section, that groove is what keeps you engaged in the feel of the song. So how do you maintain that groove when playing? It's like keeping a sense of what that groove is. Letting most of everything what you play be based around what that groove is. So I'll try to demonstrate a little bit, if I can, with this particular track that I have going here. So I have this right here going. Let's go back really quick. Hopefully it goes quick. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I am standing. So the groove for me, when I hear a groove like this, it's like, so it has this thing. So the groove can be the drum beat, it can be the bass line, but ultimately that groove is what pulls you into the feel, the actual feel of the song. Because right now we don't even have a bass line going on, but you still feel the song, right? There's a groove already happening, whether you notice it or not. If I take out what's perceived as the kick or the 4 on the floor, let's take all of that out and just have the claps. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, so you still feel a sense of the groove there. So to me, again, that groove is 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it has a subdivision of that little like really like that shaker or whatever you want to add it that's happening there, that's giving you a sense of the feel of the song. So if I can keep that theme throughout whatever it is I'm playing, I can get a good idea. I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I am standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa. So even if I were to take that approach, right here, I'm breaking up the bass line, but if I were to just take boom, 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 dun, 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 that's still part of the groove. So I'm keeping in my mind the whole time, to answer your question, I'm keeping in my mind the whole time the feel and the intent of the song. So whatever I do, I always come back to the original intent of the song. I never want to do anything that takes me completely away. Even if I'm doing improvisation, it should be based around the intent of the song. So the groove is never lost, whether I keep playing the bass line or whether I'm playing some improvisation. So I'll try to demonstrate. So I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace of God. Whoa, I'm standing here and it's by the grace. So I'm playing this like, even the improv that I'm just doing there, all of it off the top of the dome. But what I'm doing there is like, it's allowing me to slide right back into the feel of the song, because ultimately I never left it. Even if I kind of speed up some of the notes and slow down some of the notes, in my mind as I'm playing, I'm always keeping in context the original intent of the groove. Whatever that groove was, I'm always keeping in my mind what the original intent of what that is, so I can always come back to that. My mind is not to go and play something completely different and start a whole nother groove unless we've been on that for like 2 hours and we're ready to make that move. I want to always keep that in my mind so I can come back to it. So that's my opinion. If you want to know how to keep the groove when you're playing, never lose the original intent of what that groove was. No matter what you play, always come back to the original intent of what that was without dragging that answer out. Hopefully that helped you and answered your question. Let's go back. Let's go ahead. First time stopping by. Happy New Year, my brother. Keep up the good work. Randy, thank you for being here. I appreciate that, man. Let's go back. I'm looking to learn key bass during this downtime. Is there a board you would recommend that will not so much overwhelming. I would say if you have a computer, I would get like a little MIDI controller. If you have a computer and you have like Logic or anything like that, I would say start with a little MIDI controller. There are tons of boards you can get. You can get a Moog. You can get these names escape me of all these different boards. There's a lot of different boards out now. So I mean, just getting the basics down. Get a little MIDI controller or something like that, where you can kind of trigger sounds from your from your computer if you have that. If not, you can go with something a little less expensive. I'm Yamaha. I'm like I'm completely out of the loop when it comes to the Keybase because I don't really spend a lot of time really studying Keybase like that, to be completely honest. But I do know that there are a lot of different, like the Moogs or the Moogs, however you say it, a lot of what the professional bass players gravitate towards. But when you get into that, you kind of should already know the mechanics of how to play the board. At that point, you're just tweaking and trying to really figure out those sounds. So my thing that I'm saying to you is learn the mechanics of how to play. If you don't already know how to play the Keybase, like learn how to play, and then focus on getting the good sounds and all of that kind of stuff, because that's the ultimate thing. Some people got the stuff, they got the gear, but they can't play. They got the right sounds, they got the right tones and everything, they got the low sub bass, but they can't play. So my biggest thing, keep the main thing, learn how to play the Keybase. If that's the biggest thing, that's the biggest goal for you right now, learn how to play that. And as you learn, do some research on YouTube. There are people, that's what they specialize in. Daryl Freeman, a friend of mine, that's a fellow bass colleague, rather. He's like a bass guru when it comes to synth bass. If you're not following him, be sure to follow him, because he puts out synth patches. He's always playing different types of Keybase. He plays like a Novation Keybase. That's a really popular one as well amongst bass players that's playing the synth bass stuff. So Novation, it's another one that escaped me. I think the name starts with an R or something like that. But yeah, I can't think of it, so I would have to see it to remember it. But yeah, so follow some people who that's what they do, like Justin Raines, another friend of mine. That he's very, very good at Keybase. And don't get me wrong, I play Keybase and I can play it well. That's just not what I specialize in. That's just not my thing. So anywho, so my 2 cents on the Keybase piece. Let's go back. Hi Jermaine, thank you for all the great year of content through Grooves and Motivations. I know I speak for the other listeners. I look forward to Grooves and Motivation 2021 and being blessed with. And thank you, I appreciate that, Andrew. Bless you, God bless your family for pouring into us. Man, I really appreciate that. Maybe added a soprano at the word God. I might go back and consider that. I'm not gonna do it now, but I might go back and check into that. Tanya, I appreciate that. Most of the time I try to go back and add your suggestions and see how that feels. So I might go back and look into that. Who is this? I think you said your name was Vince. Thank you so much, sir. I'm really grateful. We'll heed everything you said. I always listen to your song Dreams. How? Oh, you're talking about daydreaming. Got you. How do you feel when you are a mentor of someone in Africa and Zimbabwe? You're really great. You mean like, what do I think about possibly being? Trying to understand how you're wording it. Like being a mentor to somebody in Africa. It is what it is, man. Like whether you're in Africa, whether you're in America, in Atlanta, it doesn't matter. It's to me, it's all the same. It's me sharing information, and it's me seeing where I can help, seeing where you are, number one, and seeing how and where we can start to target the areas that you need help in. Because let me be clear about this. We're all, and I get what you mean by the mentor term. I totally understand. But we're all on some type of a journey. But in areas, some of us might have, crossed some hurdles that other people have yet to cross. And so my responsibility in trying to mentor anyone would be to find out where they are in regards to the hurdles that they're trying to cross. And if it's something that I've already crossed over, I can give you some advice in the direction that you could take, or a better approach that you could possibly do to cross over some of these hurdles that you're trying to cross, because age isn't always the difference maker. Like, some people can be older, but there might be some wisdom that I've learned in my little 38 years of being here that helped me to avoid some of these things, or helped me to build something a little stronger, that, you know, you are a little older or whatever the case might be, but you didn't necessarily get that principle. And it's all about principles. And I'm constantly reading. I think I shared this on last week, but one of the newest books I'm reading is The Richest Man in Babylon. Just even with stuff like this, reading information, because sometimes you can add, for my friend, I think you said your name was Vince. If that's not it, please forgive me. But another thing, even if you're not able to do any mentoring or whatever with me, I wrote a book, 10 Ways to Success, The Working Musician. And myself, along with many others, have put principles in books, in videos, and all these different things. Sometimes you don't have to be in the presence of someone in order to benefit off of their wisdom and their knowledge and the things that they have learned and the things that they've acquired and that kind of thing. When I started on this journey of self-development, which I'm still on, I don't think I'll ever be off of that. But when I got serious about really getting better in the whole area of self-development, most of my mentors were virtual, meaning I had no dealings with them at all. They don't even know I exist. But they were mentoring me from afar, by way of video, by way of books. Some of them were already dead, you know, but their principles are still living. And the things that they live by were helpful to me, and they have helped me to transform my life, not only my life, but help to start to transform the life of many others as well, simply by applying some of these principles that I've read and that I've studied, as well as the number one for me being the Bible, one of the main ones that I follow, but as well as other materials outside of that, different books that I read by authors, and by Dr. Miles Monroe. I've read a lot of his books, and as well as some other people that I have read, read Sam Walton's Made in America. It's so many different books and different things that I've read, and I'm constantly, as far as this whole self-development thing, I'm constantly expanding my library, because I don't want 2020's wisdom in 2021. Hopefully that makes sense to someone. I want more. I want more wisdom. I want more knowledge going into 2021. So that's why I buy more books, because there are things I don't know and things I want to be more wise at. Even when it comes to groups and motivation, there are things I want to share with you, but if I don't keep feeding myself the things to help move others forward, I have nothing to share. So you would have got on here if I didn't keep giving myself, keep feeding myself the necessary things to share. I would have been done probably at top of the year, January, groups and motivation. All right, guys, that's all I got. I'm out. You know what I'm saying? Because if I don't keep feeding myself the necessary, and that goes for my bass playing, my musicianship all together, everything, it's all connected. As you develop, you want to develop in health, you want to develop in your mindset, you want to develop in your spirit, you want to definitely develop in wealth. So all of those things are interconnected. There's a verse that I like in the Bible that talks about, I wish above all things that you prosper, you be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So while you're spiritually, there's a lot of people I knew that grew up in the church who were spiritually, they the most religious spiritually, but they let themselves go health-wise. They've let themselves go financial, and I'm not picking or poking fun at anybody, but it's all connected. It's all interconnected. So I can't be great in one area and then another area go lacking. It should always be a level of improvement for me. I'm looking to improve, not just trying to acquire wealth and riches. I want to be a better father. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better friend. You know what I'm saying? So when people see me from year to year, they see growth. Now, at the core, the character is still the same. Who I am at the core never changes. If I'm a good person at the core, you know what I'm saying? Those are the character traits we want to improve on. But if I'm rotten at the core, now maybe that should change. If you're rotten at the core, yeah, you got some work to do. If you're just rotten at the core, there's some soul searching that you have to do. But even with that being said, that doesn't mean, it's too late or you're beyond repair if you're rotten at the core. You can still be saved. You can still be better. You can still be mended to be made whole so that you can be better used for purpose here. So let me read a few more of these comments. All right. Let's see here. Floyd, good morning, man. Holidays I'm fine. I'm good. I'm healthy and I'm well. So no complaints here. You've been a mentor to me. I've learned so much from you on the bass and off the bass. Your labor is not in vain, man. Tyrone, thank you, man. It really means a lot. I appreciate that. I really love playing bass, but it's just that my 4-string guitar is no longer working. So I'm now the church guitar on Sundays. So you said you're church guitar players. Well, I improved from that. Yeah, you can't. If I put it like this. Our scenarios and our situations place us sometimes in positions that we'd rather not be in. But the objective is to not complain when we find ourselves in those situations, but figure out a way to make the most of that situation. I think my mind goes back to Richard Bona, one of the coldest musicians ever to probably come out of Cameroon. I think that's Africa. But this dude is phenomenal, but I think his first bass guitar that he was playing, he made it. I don't want to misquote the story, but I don't think he had access to like really, really expensive instruments when he was getting started. He learned on the stuff that he had to work with, but now he's a phenom. So like he can play anything, piano, bass, guitar. So the fact that you're being forced to play guitar might be actually a good thing. Remember I don't know if you hear earlier, but going back to the story, not to give you the whole thing again, but going back to the whole Joseph story, all of those things, all of those points of his life that he went through were necessary in building him to become that prince-like figure that he would later be in life. So the things that you might be forced into now, you might not like them because they're uncomfortable. It's like, I don't want to play no guitar. I want to be a bass player. But what do? If you're in a situation that you can't control what's going on right now, you have to roll with the punches and learn how to play defense. You just have to respond in the best way you can, and in the midst of it, not get negative, not become cynical. You know what I'm saying? Start making the most out of the situation. All right, if a guitar is all I have to work with right now, well, I'm going to become the best guitar player I can possibly become during this time until I get to the point where I can get my bass fixed or purchase another bass. Because who knows? The better you become at that guitar, somebody might just give you a bass. You just never know how it works, how things work out. Things have a way of working out when you put your all into them, when you give everything that you have. And that's the thing I want to tell you, is to put all you have. There's a statement I love by Jim Rohn regarding speaking, but I'm putting it on everything. He said, when it comes to speaking, don't waste your words. I think I said this on last week, but if I did, it's all good. Don't waste your words. Put all you are into all you say. When it comes to doing anything, don't waste that moment. Put all you are into all you do. When it comes to playing, put all you are into all you play. So if you find yourself on a guitar, put all you are into what you're doing. Put all you are into that guitar. Put every ounce of bass playing you got into that guitar. Everything that you have, do what you can to maximize the moment. You just never know how things pan out. Who knows? You might be one of the greatest guitar players in the world on the rise, and you didn't know it because your mind was so focused on playing bass. You just never know. So you take the punches, roll with them. There's another statement. Again, I listen to a lot of different people, as I was talking earlier. There's another statement I like to, I've applied to my own philosophy Don't complain about what you have. If the little car is all you have, and it might split and do all this kind of stuff, and you have to make sure you keep the tire aired up because it got a slow leak on the tire, and the radio don't play but one station, and then your right side window don't come down, and you can't unlock the back door because it's jammed or something like that. But the driver's side door opens, you can get in, it drives and take you from point A to point B. Don't complain about what you have, because what you have is all you have. Don't complain about what you have, because what you have is all you have. Make the most of what you have. Be a good steward over what you have. And in doing so, when you manage the little bit that you have and manage it to the best of your ability, then more will be given. When you manage the little bit that you have, when you do the best and not complain, but manage it, manage what you have, then more will be added to you. And you manage that, and more gets added to that. So you continue to become a good manager of the things that you have. Not a good complainer, but a good manager of what you have, including your time. We all have 24 hours in a day. How do you manage those 24 hours? All of that stuff matters. How you manage that 24 hours makes so much of a difference in your life, makes so much difference in determining the ideas that you come up with. If you're still here, it makes such a difference in ideas that you come up with that determine if you're going to be able to buy another bass in 21. You know what I'm saying? So now you're creating, even though you're playing the guitar, you've created some ideas because you're maximizing your potential that afforded you the opportunity to now be able to purchase a bass, your own bass. And not only that, you might end up in 2021 being able to purchase somebody else's bass. And it all started from, let me maximize my ability right here on this guitar. So hopefully I didn't go way around the world with that, but maximize it. Maximize what you have. I'm going to read a few of these comments. Let me see here. All right. So who is this? Plea, I don't know which one it is. Good morning, Jermaine. Hope all is well with you. Stay COVID safe. I plan to. God bless and Happy New Year. Same to you. Same to you. Andrew said, yes, sir. Larry Graham played the bass by default, but it became a legend. It became a legend for thumping. Absolutely. All right. So I can remember at church, this is floppy. I can remember at church I was put on backing vocals rather than the bass or the drums. First, I resented it. I know, bad. But I learned so much about harmony from that experience that has helped. You see what I'm saying? There's always a silver lining to it. Make the most of what you have. Absolutely. Curtis Mayfield, Aaron says, Curtis Mayfield always said, just be thankful for what you got. Come on here. Yes, sir. Roll with the punches. That was the point. If my earlier comment about school, the pandemic, isolation, enforced my focus on putting all I had into it. Yeah, absolutely. You got to roll with it. Peely, all right. All good, man. All good. I see so many different names here on YouTube. I know I just call people just random stuff. It's like, I'm not even going to give an example. But thank you for clearing that up. I really, really appreciate it. So again, guys, I'm not going to belabor the hour. I really appreciate you tuning in today. And I pray that all of you are back here next year, next week, but next year. I pray that all of you back here healthy, safe, you are able to cross over the new year. I've had some loved ones to transition. I had a loved one to transition just on Christmas Eve. So, life is something not to be taken lightly. Some of us get, long life. Some of us don't. So whatever you get, whatever the measure of time that you're blessed with, manage it. Manage it to the best of your ability. I mean, milk it. Get everything you can get out of it. My new philosophy is I plan to, what did it say, live full and die empty. I plan to get every single thing out of me that was supposed to be deposited here on earth. So those trees, those seeds can be planted to grow really, really great trees. And meanwhile, while I'm planting all of these different seeds, I know they're going to come up and they're going to do something they're going to do something great. When it's all said and done, they're going to do something really, really great. So that's something I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to a return on what it is I've planted. Even if I don't see it in my lifetime, I know that I emptied the tank before they closed the box. It's something to think about. Don't die with stuff. Don't take stuff to your grave with you. Don't take your ideas, what we were talking about earlier. Being able to pour into somebody, getting out of your own way, being able to open up and letting somebody else in to get a little piece of the wisdom that you have. Stuff that you have, don't be so full that you're constipated. Like, get that stuff out. Like, share it with somebody. Sorry for the bad analogy, but hey, that's what I got. You know what I'm saying? Share it with somebody. Give somebody these nuggets that you have. What you carry is valuable, whether you know it or not, whether anybody ever told you or not. What you carry is valuable, and it's needed, and it's necessary that you get it out, that you put it into the world, that you give these people what you have. It doesn't matter if you're a virtuoso or if you're just somebody that's good at washing dishes. The wisdom that you have is worth sharing with somebody else. And in doing so, you start to find purpose. If you don't already know what purpose is, start sharing. The more you start to share, the more you begin to uncover and to reveal purpose. The more you share, the more things become clear. Things become clear. I don't know how to explain it, but it's something about it. The more you share, the more you give. And I don't mean just give and you ain't got nothing, but use wisdom, use discernment. But the more you share, the more you give, the more you break off what you have and give people a piece of it. Not a piece of your mind, but a piece of your wisdom. The more you do that, the more purpose becomes clear. Seek God. Seek God for clarity. If you're not a person that, that ain't something you do, seek God. Try that. You didn't try everything else in 2020. You see it don't work. So try Jesus. I ain't talking about the song. I'm talking about try him the right way. Try him, ask him for purpose, ask him for direction, ask him for leadership, ask him for guidance in terms of the next phase of your life. What needs to happen next? Who do I need to impact next? What people do I need to be around? What person is potentially carrying the key to my success in this next phase of life? And how do I prepare myself so when I get around these people, I don't blow opportunities? I want to be prepared. I want to make the most of these situations. So God, give me clarity on how to do that. Simple prayer. Give me clarity on how to do that, because I understand with my finite wisdom, I don't know all the answers. So I'm asking somebody who has infinite wisdom to help me to know the right stuff to do so that I don't waste another year. All right? So that's my 2 cents. We made it. We made it this far. And by the grace of God, we'll keep going, right? So again, thank y'all for everybody that's been here, for everybody that shared. Aaron, everyone have a blessed and safe New Year. God bless everyone next week. Yep. And thank you, Jermaine. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody else. I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for rocking with me. Y'all have made 2020 worthwhile, because if you didn't get on this live, I'll be on here talking to myself. I would probably still be doing it, but I'll be on here talking to myself, and it probably wouldn't be as enjoyable as it has been. I appreciate you guys. Tanya says, thank you for 2020 grooves and motivations. Definitely looking forward to 2021. Blessings and safety and good health to everyone, families and friends. Happy New Year. Same to you guys. Happy New Year. I've enjoyed it. I'm looking forward to greater things for 2021 if the Lord wills. And we're going to grow. We're going to continue to expand this. All in due time, all in due season. Thank y'all for rocking with me. It will get better. I will say that. It will. These grooves and motivation will get better. And these live talks and life will get better. It might get worse before it get better. I don't know. But it will get better. First, weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. So know that what's going on now is not going to always be. Seasons change. Things will get better. So yeah, he said, try Jesus. Yeah, I wasn't talking about that one, but you know what I mean. But all right, y'all, I'm getting out. Thank y'all for joining in today. Have a great week. Enjoy your new year. Love your family. Live and enjoy. All right? Peace.